Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to MJC Sports YouTube channel. Today, we got breaking news. All right. As you guys have heard by now, it is Thursday night, and Micah Parsons has officially gotten traded to the Green Bay Packers. Max, what a turn of
Oh,
events. I am
I thought you were
shocked.
gonna talk about the Cowboys signing a backup guard, but I guess we're talking about Micah, so let's do it.
One of the best
Who saw it
defensive
coming?
tackles got traded to the Dallas Cowboys. That's also headlines.
Yeah. Oh, we should have named the video, like, Kenny Clark traded,
Clark.
OMG, crazy. Dude, you know what's crazy? I was gonna say this to you today. I remember Mike Daniels. Remember Mike Daniels? He
Yeah.
posted, like, an image of when he was, like, a 97 on Madden, and I was just like, "That's, like, such an overrated rating." And I feel like that's what the Cowboys got with Kenny Clark. They got something that looks good and like isn't bad. It's just not like they traded a Lambo for like
Well, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's
traded
wait. Let's wait. Let's wait.
okay, sorry,
Okay,
go ahead.
look.
Okay,
First of
so
all,
what's the trade? Let's go with the trade.
first of all, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below your thoughts on the Micah Parsons trade. Um, Max, can you please give the audience the details of the trade?
Okay. So obviously, guys, Micah Parsons is traded for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark, a 29-year-old nose tackle who's turning 30 this year, who's one of the highest paid players this position. As Juan just tries to kill something on stream, this show's off the rails already. But guys, while Juan's fighting the fly, I'm going to give you a timeline of events. Just for anyone who's missed it and living under a rock, July 21st, they reported to training camp. August August 1st, Micah requested a trade on Twitter. August 2nd, the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said he's not going to trade Parsons, calling trade request a part of the negotiation. One thing I would say to our fans, don't lose any sleep over it. That aged like fine wine. August 7th, Micah has back tightness, wasn't on practice for first time during training camp. I bet that back's really loose now, guys. Just knowing what I know. August 13th, Jones says nothing preventing Parsons' contract deal. Still haven't discussed the new contract. August 21st, Jones said he offered Micah to become the richest player who's a non QB, which apparently was true. August 22nd, Schottenheimer, their new head coach, like, yeah, Micah's going to be here week 1. And today, the Packers make him the richest paid defensive player in NFL history, richest paid player in NFL history who's not a quarterback. 4 years, $188 million, 138 of that guaranteed. One, obviously we're gonna do winners and losers, but just initial thoughts. Like, just I don't even know where to start because
I
the
want to
Cowboys
be
just love to make it
shocked.
a circus.
I want to be shocked. I do. But unfortunately, I'm not. I'm a Raider fan. I've seen an all pro
You've
in his prime
you've
get
lived
traded.
this.
I witnessed this.
Well, what would you say the difference is? Because I know we've talked about it, and just like for me, obviously you cared more about Khalil Mack getting traded than I did. I feel like the one difference was Khalil Mack was just like, "Shut up, I want my money," and Michael was like, "I will air this crap out. I will become a talking head. I will say whatever I need to say to expedite things." So what like is there a difference or is it pretty much the same thing
No, I
to you?
think it
It's
is a difference. Honestly, this seems more obviously like a toxic situation. It does. It's toxic. Number one. Number two, this is owner driven. This is owner and honestly agent driven. This has nothing to do with the coaching staff. This has nothing to do with the players. It's all about the agent, the money, and the owner. And this just shows why it just kind of sucks having an old owner, bro. Like, it's giving me a lot of reminiscent of like the Raiders, how they operate. I remember when Al Davis was old, man, in the last couple years, he made some questionable decisions, paying certain guys, letting go certain guys. It's just not a good look, bro. I think the Cowboys are officially looking like a dysfunctional franchise, which is crazy to say because as much as people want to think I'm a Cowboys hater, I think they have been a well-run organization for the last 15 years, I would say. And this whole year in general, starting off with hiring Brian Schottenheimer, firing Mike McCarthy, and doing some very questionable moves as far as number one being trading Micah Parsons, an all pro edge rusher. This is dysfunctional. And this is why me and Max, if you guys watched our preview of the NFC East, why we thought the Cowboys were going to have a bad year. There's a bad vibe in the locker room, and this is not going to do anything different as far as a positive going forward. CeeDee Lamb is already complaining. You got the owner literally taking shots, guys, at the player as he's getting traded. That's uncalled for, saying that we need to get better against the run. What is that supposed to mean? You're gonna tell me
I
as
mean,
a fan,
that's true.
you're gonna tell me that
That's true.
we got to get better at stopping the run and we trade our best defensive player?
Yeah, see, okay. See, I agree with Jerry. I just don't know if the optics are right. Because look, I'm all for like throwing a shot at somebody when they're on the way out. That's me though. Juan's a nicer guy than me. I would just say this. 2 first round picks sound great. One at one point you were promised 3 first round picks for Khalil Mack. So obviously we've talked about picks before. You know, I feel like we're like a podcast that's really ahead of the game in like terms of trade value. Like we're always thinking about what if you got traded? Because like, you know, we for instance, we've released a trade value video. You guys watched it. We really appreciate it. But you know, talking about that, we were talking about what if like the Cardinals wanted to trade Marvin Harrison? People were like, it would never happen. Well, tell me I'm wrong, Juan. How many people would have said Micah Parsons would have ever been traded? They would have all said, and I would have probably agreed and bet on it. Yeah, he's not really going to get traded, but it happens. And 2 first round picks is pretty good in terms of compensation. But you know as well as I do, Juan, those picks don't matter unless you hit them. Because you're once upon a time, Juan lived through this. Juan literally lived through this whole situation. It just wasn't as bad, and there wasn't no bad blood. It was just the Raiders couldn't afford it. They were doing all this crap. But if they go ahead and they pick 2 like lemons, oh my god, the optics look even worse. And Kenny Clark is a good player. But when I saw like, you know, they had the whole thing like we don't know who the players, I was like, damn, they got Rashawn Gary. I'm like, okay, so Rashawn Gary's like 60% of Micah. That's pretty good. Then I was like, they got Kenny Clark. I would have been like, dude, I will trade you Kenny Clark every day of the week. Like, I don't think very highly of Kenny Clark. Is he still productive? Yes. But would you say trading for a 30-year-old guy who's past his prime just going to get worse and worse? Not a smart move.
Shit, I
Like, you
would
couldn't get
argue I would have
somebody
threw in like
young.
Evan Williams. I would have been like, let me get Evan Williams. Let me
Yeah, like I
like a
thought it was going to
young
be like
ascending player.
somebody. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be a receiver or somebody on offense. I was like, I knew they were going to get defense. I was like, you can't get Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah.
Like, at least you're like, okay, we traded for a 25-year-old player. Like, I think getting a 30-year-old is really bad. Like, I think
Yeah.
that part of the trade is really bad.
And look,
And
don't
yeah,
get me
he
wrong.
might help short term. He
Yeah.
might help short term, but what's the help? Like, you want help short term? Keep Micah effing Parsons.
Yeah. And to me,
Like,
they
hey,
paid the wrong guys. They flat out paid the wrong guys. Obviously, they paid Dak.
Dak.
They overpaid Dak.
Yeah.
And they overpaid
Well, I mean,
for
this is where we talk about like you're over a barrel with these quarterbacks, but at some point you just have to be like, yo. And we've talked to us. I'm like, you're not Mahomes. You're not Allen. We love you. We want you here. And this is on Dak too. Like, hey, buddy, don't take the 60 million. Take 45. Bro, you got to tell Dak's got to be on TV more than Josh Allen with the sleep beds and all that other bull crap he's got going. He's making money.
So this is my
no
thing.
State tax in Texas. Like, come on. You're
This
right.
is my
they
thing.
paid
And
the wrong people.
And this is a great point that I want to make because me and Max are constantly talking about this. Who's an elevator and who is a game manager, right? And Dak Prescott is one of those guys who's kind of in the middle. I would lean more of a game manager. And honestly, it would have made more sense. You pay your quarterback that money, right, Max? You're paying him a bunch of money. That's the market. It is what it is. We got Dak Prescott. I would rather keep the edge rusher, pay Micah first, and trade CeeDee Lamb. They traded for
If it
George
gets to that
Pickens.
point.
No,
Yeah.
but they traded for George Pickens. It's like, okay, we got Dak Prescott. We expect him to elevate some of these receivers.
Correct. Yeah, but then you pay Dak, and then all you hear is, oh, Dak never has the help. Okay, so now we got to go pay CeeDee Lamb more money than he probably deserves. Hey, and I like CeeDee Lamb. But if I was in a pissing contest with CeeDee Lamb or Micah, like, give me Micah, and I'll worry about all the drama with CD. I'm like, no, we've talked about this. It's much easier to find receivers than it is pass rushers. Like, pass rushers like Micah don't grow on trees. There's a lot of good receivers in football. Sure, maybe there's not a lot of CeeDee Lambs, but there's plenty of guys who are good and reliable and you can just deal with. And you can make an offense great without having good receivers. Let me rephrase that. You can have a good offense without having great receivers. Now, if you have great receivers and a great offense, you're going to be like world beaters, right?
Right.
That's absolutely a fact. But I really think the Cowboys lost this trade. Like, okay, here's one way. Like, let me play devil's advocate. I'm a Cowboy fan and I hate Micah. Let me say, I'm our friend Dak, basically. Dak has been on stream tonight, guys. Dak Phenom 411, Twitch TV, check him out. He's been saying, I'm so happy they traded Micah. I really think the defense is going to like galvanize without Micah. And I'm like, you kind of don't have the Jimmies and the Joes to do it. Like we've talked about, the linebacking core is bad. You take Micah away, it pretty much lessens like the impact of everybody else. Micah is an elevator. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence sticked around as well because they went from being the one guy to being like a 2 option, a 3 option at times. So I don't really see how they're going to be able to have a good defense without having like some type of world. Like Myles Garrett has like single-handedly kept the Browns defense relevant for like what seems like 7 years. Micah impact was keeping Dallas's defense at a level that they really shouldn't have been at. We've talked about how even with Micah, they're not that good of a defense. Talk about Khalil Mack one with the Raiders. Were you guys ever a good defense with Khalil Mack?
No, we're always a bottom 5, you know?
But you saw the difference after he left of what it looked like.
We went to bad to like, damn, this is the worst defense in
We
the
can't
league.
stop crap.
Yeah.
We literally can't stop crap.
And I would say this, Max, as far as that whole point you said with taking away Micah Parsons and talking about being like a cancer, essentially, you know, like Micah Parsons is a problem, his attitude. Don't get me wrong. I'm annoyed at it too. You know, I come from more of the old school of like, hey, bro, stay the F off social media. I don't want to hear you. You know, talk like go about your business in silence. Let your agent figure it out. Let the owners figure it out. Don't say a word. Don't make things worse. And he made things worse. Going on podcasts, doing quotes, sitting behind the bench. Yeah. All that stuff is bad. But look. When it comes to an edge rusher, I really don't care because they don't really have to depend on many people to be good. Like, let's say CeeDee Lamb was doing that. It's like, okay, he needs Dak Prescott. He needs other things to go well. It's like Micah Parsons, even if he was a freaking head case, bro, like you kind of want your edge rushers to be a little nuts in the head. Like it's not that big of a deal.
So would you, there's like a thing in Dallas and like, I would agree with it to a certain degree. Would you say, well, they're not really losing as much because even in their biggest games, like the biggest games of the Cowboys seasons have been against the Niners in the playoffs, what, like twice pretty much? And Micah didn't really show up. Now, is Micah a perfect player? No. Can he kind of get run over in the run game a little bit? Yeah, he can. But like honestly, as a pass rusher, guys, and if you watch our trade value list, we had him as the highest non-quarterback value out there. So would you agree with that sentiment, Juan, in Dallas? Like he doesn't really show up in big games. Look, I think when you talk about the Niners, it's like he's like that's the worst type of guy to have against the Niners. But if you're playing the Chiefs, Micah Parsons is like, sign me up. Sign me up for what Micah Parsons. Because the Niners want to run. And they're zigging while the whole NFL zagging.
Like you
they
said.
want to run the ball down your throat. It's like did he play great in big games? No, but you still want the guy. It doesn't matter. I don't care. He's not a quarterback. He can't impact the whole game.
Yeah. Look, you throw on the film, man. The film's gonna speak for itself. Everyone wants to look at sack numbers or whatever pressure. I don't care,
which
man.
He has every stat in the book.
Yeah,
like just to defend the guy.
Yeah, but like it's kind of hard to justify that Micah Parsons is not a great player, doesn't show up for big games. Like I would argue the whole team didn't show up for big games. They got punked as a team.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a coaching thing. That's not really the team. That's like, hey, Mike McCarthy doesn't get the guys ready. Really quick, I want to just ask you this. Joey asked me, he called me when it happened. He said, can you believe it? What do you think for the Packers? I'm like, if you're the Packers, these guys don't ever get to the point where you can acquire them. Like in their prime. Like, yeah, you might get Micah Parsons one when he's 31. But at 27, you don't get a chance to get these dudes. So when you do get the chance, you better go out there and get them. And I'm sure the Packers were thinking, The last time a guy like this got traded in our division, he wrecked shop. He was a game wrecker.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we're not on the receiving end of that. And they went out there and did it, and I applaud them. I really applaud the
I was
GM
shocked. I was
juice.
shocked that
Yeah.
it was the Packers. First of all, because the Packers are a homegrown team. They're built through the draft. A lot of people don't know this, but they don't really have an owner in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So they're really a well-oiled machine and they're very safe. They play it safe. They don't sign big free agents. They literally just started signing free agents in the last like 3 or 4 years, I would
Yeah,
say.
when Brian Cajuste or whatever his name is I can't say his last name, when he took over, it was kind of like, okay, we're gonna go after Josh Jacobs, we're gonna go after Xavier McKinney.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just applaud. I feel like executive of the year writing on the wall just for pulling off this trade.
Yeah.
And those 2 first round picks I feel like it was a little different than the Bears when they got Matt, because you're like, damn, the Bears could be good. Like we had never seen the Bears be good, right? With Trubisky and like before they traded for Matt. I'm like, dude, I've seen the Packers the last 2 years almost like go to the NFC Championship game. They
Yeah.
were in the 49ers. They were winning that game. They choked. The Eagles, they put up a big fight. So it's kind of like, damn, they're already on there. You might be picking like 28, 29,
I'm going to
30.
call it right
It's
now.
not like
I already did my over-unders. Obviously, that was a different Packers team that I was talking about at the time. I think this changes everything.
absolutely.
I think it
Absolutely.
confirms my thought on the Green Bay Packers. They knew they were missing something. One of the things I said in that preview was they're missing an alpha. They're missing that elite guy.
Yeah.
That guy you
And
look
we
at
love
their
Rashawn Gary.
defense.
We love him, but he's
Yeah.
not the guy. And how much better do you feel that Rashawn Gary's now your 2 again? You're like,
Oh my God, it's great.
thank you.
That's where you want him. That's where you want guys like that. You want him as the number 2. And with Micah Parsons going to Green Bay, he's going to go to a place where the media is not going to be crazy. It's not going to be one of those headlines where it's like Micah's doing this, Micah's
honestly,
doing that.
Polar opposite. Polar off. You're literally going from the biggest market to the smallest market team, I would say.
Yeah.
If not one of them. Like literally it's like a town of like 10,000 people. Like he's literally been in a media circus his whole career, and now he's going to Titletown, a place that's like, yo, like we had Aaron Rodgers and we weren't hearing nothing bad about Aaron Rodgers for like 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they won this trade. But like I think it's stupid to just say like they outright won it. But if I was going to give the trade a percentage, I'd honestly say Packers 80, Cowboys 20.
Yeah, I think that's the impact it is. And this division's going to be a bloodbath. It makes it more exciting. It was already a bloodbath before, but I think the Packers were like, watch this. Like, you guys are talking about Ben Johnson. You guys are talking about Dan Campbell, the Lions, and people are getting excited for the Vikings. Watch this. Let us get Micah Parsons.
Dude. I feel like the Packers had the lowest of key like free agency period, like off seasons too. And then they were like, hold my beer. We're still gonna run this division. Like I know Detroit's had a couple years, but over the last 10 years, the Packers run this division, and I feel like they just put themselves in the like pole position to win it again. I really that's how strongly I feel this move does. Now you could say, oh, the Packers lost Kenny Clark. He's a reliable inside guy. I really don't think that. I don't think Kenny Clark's a difference maker. Like I said, I think he's a good run stopper. That's about it. Because the Packers know, hey, we're going to be like, even in the last couple of years, we've seen them kind of not have the pass rush. They're like, yo, we just supercharged it.
Yeah.
They got a lot of young, athletic guys on their team.
And I would say I want to give us a pat on the back because, like you said, we're kind of ahead of the curve. I think we were pretty much right with the value that you got for Micah Parsons. It was 2 first-round picks. It was Kenny Clark. I know Khalil Mack got traded for 2 firsts. I want to say a 3rd and a 6th. I want to say, but they swapped the 6th.
But then the Raiders gave them like a 2nd, and they got a 3rd.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird.
2 first-round picks plus. Like that's what we said, and I was like, thank God. I was like, imagine they got like 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, one of my coworkers, shout out to Brian, but Brian, when it happened, he was like, "What do you think they gave up?" And I was like, I think like 2 first-round picks, man. And he's like, really? That's it? And I was like, yeah. He was like, at least 3. And I was like, no team's going to give up 3. I was like, I think that's one of those things where if it's not a quarterback, they're not going to give up 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3, it would have had to be like, I feel like the Eagles would have had to pay 3. They're like, yo, if we're trading them in division, well, you have to pay.
So that's another thing. I text you this.
In the conference.
And they traded him in the NFC, guys. Like, to me, you got to pay tax. Throw in Evan
Let me ask.
Williams. Like,
Let
straight
me
up.
ask you this: like, I have to think there was an AFC team willing to pay that price, if not more. Like, that's what I think is confusing too. It's like, were the Packers really like what you were looking for? Like, you couldn't find a team like the Texans weren't like, "Yo, give me 2 first round picks," but they were like, "Okay, we don't want him in Texas because then he's just going to be on." Like, what was their logic? Like,
Right.
I don't really get that part. I'm just trying to think. The Broncos wouldn't have traded 2 first round picks for, and
I
you maybe
think
get
so.
Nick Benito.
And that
That's
was
what I'm saying. I don't get that part.
they probably love Kenny Clark that much, as crazy as it sounds. That
Jerry
was
Jones was like, "Oh, this guy."
he's gonna
I mean,
stop the
dude, you
run.
know what's dude, if let's say before the trade we had predicted the Cowboys to have like the 15th best run defense, I would honestly be like, okay, now I think they'll have like the 18th best run defense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Or their
gonna
run
be
defense will
tough.
get better because now they're just getting gashed in the pass game. And so now they're like, oh yeah, see, the running got better. It's like,
So
oh yeah.
as far as right now, I think it's obvious. Me and Max both agree. A win on the Packers side. We feel like they won the trade by a wide margin. I wouldn't say a landslide, but by a wide
What
margin.
would you like? That's what I'm saying. Give a percentage for it. Like, what's the
I would
percentage
say
of
I
win
got
loss?
Packers 80, Cowboys 20.
Yeah. If you want to be nice, like if you're a really big Kenny Clark, 75-25.
Yeah.
It's just I think the writing's on the wall for a really bad year for Dallas.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit
I
like
mean, it's
more
obvious they
vindicated.
traded him, Max. Come on, you're not
Okay,
trading
so
Micah
let me
Parsons
play
if you think
devil's
you can
advocate.
contend.
Let me That's exactly. I'm like, if you're really going to contend for this thing, I think I will say this, so I'm going to play devil's advocate. I think Jerry Jones sees the writing on the wall a little bit. I think we're being a little too critical. Like, hey, is it stupid to trade him right in the now? Yes, but I think he also knows this
We
team's
suck.
not really built to contend. Like, I think he's like, we just have some really good players that can make us look better than what we are.
Yeah.
Like, we really like a 5-win team, but we're winning like 9 games every year because we got Micah, we got CeeDee Lamb, we have Dak, we have other guys. So I think honestly, the best thing for them to do would be kind of not to tank, but like now you get to see how good your team really is because they're such a top heavy team. Like we talked about it with the Ravens. It's like, dude, even if they lost Kyle Hamilton, I'd still think like, damn, the Ravens are still so loaded at that, like loaded, like absolutely loaded. And it's like the Cowboys is like Micah gets hurt. It's like, uh-oh, we got nothing. We don't have depth. We don't have anybody who can even step. Like we can't even man the fort without him.
Right.
And that's what I want to just kind of give Jerry Jones some credit. It's like we talk about Jerry Jones like he's this idiot and he's just running them into the ground. Like, dude, they go to the playoffs almost every year.
I know, but this is the first sign, this first year, where it looks like
I
a
would
train
agree.
wreck.
I would agree. And honestly, the Micah thing isn't even the biggest red flag. I think the Schottenheimer thing.
Yes.
Because I don't care about the players as much. If you pick the wrong guy to lead your team, it's over. And I think that's the one thing where he's been really bad. He picked McCarthy over Quinn. We know how bad that
And
was.
I gave him
then
credit.
He picked Schottenheimer.
And I gave him credit
Yeah.
like you just did right now. Like a lot of people don't realize as much shit people want to talk about the Cowboys, they've been a well-run organization for the last like 15
drafting
years.
good. Like every year,
Yes.
it's like, oh, we drafted Deron Blaine in the 5th round. We drafted Micah. We're gonna play him at edge, and we're all like, Micah can play edge, and it's like, oh crap, Micah can play edge.
Yeah.
We drafted like Devontae Turpin, who's a really good Jalen Tolbert. We draft all these guys,
CeeDee
who are,
Lamb,
like, really good players.
Dak Prescott, Zach Martin. The list goes on. Like they hit. They get some Ezekiel Elliott. Like I know he was bad at the end, but he was a really good player when they drafted him.
No, yeah, and even like Leighton Vander Esch, like, and I know they've had every NFL team has like good picks, but I would say Dallas is still like on the upper tier of drafting teams.
Yes.
Like I would say they draft pretty effing well. Like Tyler Booker, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a good ass guard in the NFL. Yeah. Like obviously we're going to have to see.
So we'll see. Hopefully, maybe they prove us wrong, and this winds up coming to fruition. They hit on the. Like they said, maybe they're thinking it like we're thinking it. We're great evaluators. We're really good in the draft. We're going to hit on these draft picks. We're going to rebuild. To me, it's like you're going to rebuild with Dak Prescott, an injury-prone quarterback.
That's where I'm like, hey, when's CeeDee Lamb going to get? Like, what if CeeDee Lamb's like week 3? He's like, oh, I'm out, bro.
I'm out.
Tyreek Hill.
I would trade him.
Out.
I would trade him.
I would too. I'd be like, well, let me get a 1st and a 3rd for him.
Yeah.
But then you got to worry about like, teams are just like lowballing us, and we're still stuck with Dak. One more thing, is this probably the roughest year for like a market superstars you've ever seen?
It's the roughest year for Dallas. Pray for
Yeah,
Dallas.
like I would say this. They gotta have the most jerseys ever from like two teams that are just like worthless now. Like there's got to be so many Micah jerseys out there that just like can't wear those for a couple years.
Man.
Luka jerseys are just like they have to have the most jerseys per capita to be just like you can't wear them for 4 years. Like remember when like maybe Cleveland when they had Braun the first time and he left. Like you got to think like if there's 10 million people in Cleveland, 8 million of them have Braun jerseys and never wearing them again.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad it is in Dallas.
It's rough, man. Look, this brings reminiscing. You know, I literally know the date that Khalil Mack got traded. He got traded on September 1st. This was pretty close to the date. Very similar situations, man, as far as the value that they got, the pass rusher that he is.
People thought 9/11 was bad for one. 9/1 was even worse, guys.
Yes.
Like not to make a joke about it.
9/1.
I'm just saying it was rough.
It's facts, man.
Dude, that's how you talk. I can't believe you know that. You should get that tattooed.
The only reason why I do know that too is because that's my niece's birthday. So like I'm kind of reminded. Like I try to hide all the sadness and try to put all the happiness into my niece's birthday. I'm like,
so on Monday he's gonna be like,
I'm gonna bury the football.
Just get a shovel and your niece was like, dude. I would say this, man. There's definitely a Cowboy fan who was like, I bet my soul we don't trade him. I bet everything. Because I knew a Raider fan like that.
Been there, done that, dog. Been there, done that. All right, look.
Oh, my God.
What do you guys think of the trade, man? Who do you guys think won? Do you guys think that this elevates the Packers to a Super Bowl contender? Probably even more. You know, like, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Dallas? Did Dallas make the right move? Is Dallas being stupid? Is Dallas being smart? You know, are you on Dak's side? Shout out to our homie. Like, are you on his side as far as saying like this is a good move? Like Micah was a mess. We don't want him on the team. Or are you more on me and Max's side where it's like, no, this is a pretty big mistake? Let us know.
Yeah, you don't trade guys like this. Yeah.
Let us know down in the comment section, man. We appreciate all the love and support that we get. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. Max, any last words?
Watch the trade value list, guys, because a lot of people said these guys don't get traded. The NFL's been a lot more trades happening. Micah's gone. Who's next? Who's the next guy on? That's a great question.
Yes. Facts. We out. Peace.
Big dreams, everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold, both ways. Not on my team. This organic, we don't buy